Get a sense of how big this snake really was because Luis still has the skin.
He found a place that looked like a swimming room, and there was a huge glass tank containing mermaids.
There's certain groups on Telegram, especially on the dark web, and I'm so serious right now, with fishermen that come from certain coastlines, and this can range anywhere from California all the way to Australia. They're literally all over the world.
You guys better lock in and buckle up because you're in for another mysterious and strange video that no one can explain. Hit that like and subscribe button as we dive through these videos and try to make sense of all this madness. These rare animals have only been seen once.
Iceberg of animals that have only been seen once. First up, we have the Nechisar Nightjar. So pretty much only one wing of this bird has ever been seen. In Ethiopia back in 1990, there was this team of bird researchers that found this old ran over bird on the road. And after examining it, they realized that nobody knew what it was because it seemed to be a completely new species of bird. And then for the past 30 years, scientists have looked everywhere in Ethiopia and the surrounding regions to find this thing, but they found no traces as if it was like the last of its kind or the only one we're going to see, but it may have just been a hybrid of the regular nightjar. Philippine Angelshark. These have only been seen once in the wild back in 1995 when this ship was dredging at the depth of like 1,200 feet and they pulled up this dead specimen of shark that they'd never seen before, and they preserved it in a museum and no second specimen has ever been found. The Andean wolf. So this is like a high altitude variant of the Maine wolf, which the Maine wolf is a really weird wolf already. It is this very strange canine thing that kind of looks like a werewolf, and it's kind of like fox looking. It has raised shoulders like a hyena. It's kind of an uncanny looking creature.
Yeah, look at how long its legs are, like it's wearing high heels or something. This is crazy.
But the Andean wolf is theorized to live in the Andes Mountains in this snowy area, but all we found is one single pelt that these locals claimed was just this wild dog. And then scientists examined this pelt and declared that it was likely a mountain-dwelling version of the Maine wolf. But this is still unverified. Some people even think that this whole pelt thing was a hoax. Spade-Toothed Whale. So we actually have 0 live sightings of spade-toothed whales anywhere in the world.
It's like a dolphin and a blue whale mixed.
They were actually only a hypothetical species for over 140 years. The first jawbone fragment was found back in 1872, and then it wasn't until 2010 when 2 deceased whales, a mother and calf, washed up on shore of New Zealand that we were able to confirm that it actually existed, and this was the first time anybody actually saw what these things looked like. So like, if you want a real adventure in your life, you could devote your entire life to trying to find these whales, because nobody has ever seen these things, and it would just be insane to find these things because you're going to like the most isolated places in the world. You'd be going to like Point Nemo to try to find these, or where they're washing up near. Giant snake in the Congo. So there's this guy named Van Leerde who was a Belgian pilot in the Royal Air Force during World War II. He recounted that he had this encounter back in 1959 with this giant snake in the Katanga region of the Belgian Congo area. He said he saw this thing while he was returning to the Kamina Air Base on a mission where he was flying a helicopter, and he reported that he turned around several times and made several passes by this thing so his passenger could get a picture of it. And then here's the picture that the passenger took. This picture actually is real and unmanipulated. Van Leerde described the snake that he saw as being close to 50 feet in length, having a circumference of about 1.5 feet, and that it was a dark shade of brown and green with a white colored belly, and its head was like 3 feet long. He also claimed that whenever he flew to get a closer look, the snake actually raised up 10 feet as if it was gonna strike at him, as if he was like close enough for the snake to actually...
The helicopter. The snake went up 10 feet and was looking at it. It was while he's in the helicopter. Imagine the no fear the snake had to have to do that. They did a whole documentary on it. Documentary, however you want to say it. Documentary. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Hit the helicopter, which is crazy to think about. But it almost seems like maybe this picture is like an optical illusion, as most people assume that this was just a large rock python, because this snake would have been way larger than any that we know today. Because if it wasn't something we know today, people think like, they like to go on about how it may have been like the Titanoboa, which is like super unrealistic that it's still alive. Next we
The Titanoboa. I think they got a movie coming out. Someone told me of Titanoboa. I used to watch the documentary of that, and I loved it. It used to be like the Kraken versus the Megalodon, you know. I love those Discovery Channel shows. But that giant snake in the Congo, I remember that. Not that I've seen it, but I remember running across that actual video of someone breaking down what it said. And he said they were snapping at the helicopter as it flew by. That's scary.
We got the green fruit dove. So the Negros fruit dove was this really cool green looking dove that they found in the Philippines. It was collected by an ornithologist back in 1953 on the slope of Mount Canaloan. This guy also saw a second bird that he believed to be its mate, and he shot it, and then it fell into the brush and he just lost it. He couldn't find it, which is kind of sad because they've never been seen since. They saw two of them, they shot one, they took another one, and then no more. Asian unicorn. So there are actually 0 confirmed sightings in the wild by an actual scientist of this creature. This thing is called a Saola. Every human encounter with a living one has been from a villager, a local, or a hunter that trapped this animal. This species was only first discovered in 1992, and it's completely insane to think about a large animal like this going undiscovered for so long. Like, it makes me think that there's a lot more out there, you know. The reason we didn't find this thing until recently is because it lives in this dense, wet, remote, tropical, evergreen forest, and they also estimate there's fewer than 100 in the wild. But there are none of these things in captivity, and there's so few out there, and they leave almost no trace. They avoid human contact completely. And also, fun fact, the reason why it's called an Asian unicorn is because its horns are actually so parallel and perfect and symmetrical that if you get a side profile view of it, it looks like there's only one horn, as if it's a unicorn. Blanco, blind salamander. So this is an amphibian from Texas that looks a lot like the olm or the axolotl.
I was about to say, isn't that an axolotl?
Only 4 individuals of this thing have been found. They found these 4 in 1951 when workers in the Blanco River in Texas found these unusually pale salamanders. But before scientists could actually preserve them, a passing bird, probably a heron, swooped down and scooped up 2 of them and ate them and flew off. And then during the process, they lost one of the salamanders too, leaving them with only 1 specimen. And then the lone survivor was successfully collected and brought to the University of Texas in Austin, and since then, for over 70 years, we haven't found any. They were pretty much all just eaten by one bird, but there remains to be, you know, no sightings of this thing, and it seems like they were endemic to that specific area, to the Blanco River in Texas. And dude, we had axolotl, basically axolotl, not really, in Texas, and then they all got eaten by a heron. So if you needed a reason to hate herons, there you go. Anyways, I hope this video makes you become obsessed with these animals and try to devote your entire life to finding something that may not be out there at all, and then you're really disappointed. No, actually, don't do that, but that would actually be kind of cool if you did. Anyways, I love the Asian unicorn, and I hope that we find it one day, and I hope that I can see it. And anyways, I love you, and let me know what you want me to talk about next, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Yeah, for me personally, out of all those, the giant snake in the Congo has got the largest wow factor for me. Of course, I grew up watching that movie Anaconda with Ice Cube and J-Lo, so, you know, it might be a little biased because that's one of my favorite movies growing up. That and Lake Placid. Any giant animal that's on a rampage, your boy's all over. Speaking of that giant snake that they found in the Congo, you're not going to believe this crazy story.
Get a sense of how big this snake really was because Luis still has the skin. This just keeps going and going. He's unrolling that end. This is the tail, and he's got the head end there. This is a good 15 foot long, and this is minus a bit of the tail and also the head, so the living animal, even allowing for stretch, would have been 16, 17 foot. When they opened it up, it had the bones of a dog inside, and more ominously, a pair of sandals. This is the largest snake Luis has ever come across, and he's spent his whole life in the jungle.
A pair of sandals? Man. I hope it's not what I think it is.
There is a type of party where the main dish served is mermaid meat. The person in front of you is an American content creator. Her content involves telling strange stories from her followers. One day, someone sent her his story, which in short is about a person who had just gotten out of prison and needed money. So he went to work with some fishermen. Their mission was to catch rare fish and sell them to the wealthy. But the surprise and strange thing was that after he started working with them, he discovered that the strange fish they were catching were not ordinary fish. They were actually catching mermaids and selling them to the elite and the rich. Anyway, he continued working with them for about 6 to 7 months. During this period, he received an invitation to attend a very important party. Anyway, he went. And before entering the gate, they had him sign a non-disclosure agreement. He recounts that when he entered the party, he found about 25 important members there. I mean, there were celebrities and artists, government officials, and VIPs sitting at a very long table. On this table, they served a very large platter. So much so that he wondered if they were serving a shark or what kind of fish could be placed on such a huge platter. Until he was shocked and discovered that what was on the platter was a mermaid. Of course, he was surprised and shocked, and he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Anyway, after what he saw and heard, he said he had to leave and tried to get out, but on his way out, or while looking for the door to exit, he heard a bubbling sound or a noise as if something was in the water. So he found a room and tried to see where that sound was coming from. He found a place that looked like a swimming room, and there was a huge glass tank containing mermaids. Exactly like when you're in a fish shop and you find glass tanks with live fish so that when you want to cook, you can take them out directly for cooking. Anyway, after she told and published this story, someone else sent her a message. But the difference here is that this person already knew that there were parties serving mermaid meat. And not just that, he ate mermaid meat and shared his experience in detail. These stories and experiences being told are very strange. But here we come to two very important questions. Are mermaids real or not? And why would someone eat them? Look, to the best of my knowledge, mermaids were mentioned in ancient books, which detailed their types in abilities and anatomical structure. They were present in all the old maps and are part of history and legends. The Book of Enoch, which is in Enoch, talked about them in detail. And just so you know, mermaids are divided into two parts. The first type is the mermaids who are the ones eaten at feasts, and the second type is called sirens. This type is very dark, and no matter how many stories and tales there are about them, it still won't be definitive proof of their existence. There is a type of
You guys heard the video I played a couple days ago. They were out fishing and you could hear the sirens yelling, "Jump for me! Jump!"
Guy saying he knows for a fact that billionaires actually eat real mermaids. Check this out, y'all.
No, there's certain videos circulating around on TikTok talking about elites eating mermaids, and I just want to make this very clear, okay? Mermaids do in fact exist. First of all, you have to understand that certain elites, let's just say, aren't like us underneath their, let's just say costume. But aside from that, if you have the balls and confidence and a team that just so happens to have some soundproof equipment, as dumb as that may sound, you can actually hunt them in some areas of the ocean. The only reason that you don't know about shit like this is because you don't explore areas of the internet outside of just Googling shit, okay? There's certain groups on Telegram, especially on the dark web, and I'm so serious right now, with fishermen that come from certain coastlines, and this can range anywhere from California all the way to Australia. They're literally all over the world. And they'll talk about not only catching them, but post their weight, their size, their length,
I hear that there's crazy stuff going on the dark web, but that's someplace I don't want to go.
their colored hair. I mean, there's a lot of shit that goes into this. They even post pictures. They even posted them on TikTok, but people don't believe that they're real most of the time. They announce out in the open, sometimes announcing that they're actually hunted down by the FBI, CIA, whatever it may be, that they deliver them to people that have a shit. There's actually some hot spots in the United States. For example, if you go to the very end of Virginia Beach around 3 to 4 a.m., which I still hear stories on a monthly basis of people being taken out into the ocean by them, but regardless, you might see some sketchy ass looking people. Just know that there's a lot of aspects of this reality, including mermaids and cryptids even, that exist, but you just don't know about.
This guy's saying he knows.
Hey guys, I'm not doubting that there's cryptids and crazy stuff out there, but eating them, that's taking it to a whole nother level. Open a mermaid land at least so everyone else can see them. Don't consume them. That would be crazy. SeaWorld came up, said, guys, guess what? We have a real life mermaid. I guarantee you people wouldn't believe it even if they said it. Someone once said something to me a long time ago, and I always think about it every so often. And someone said, Chuck, Moses can come back right now and part the Red Sea, and there will still be a lot of people that won't believe it. When he said that to me, I'm like, man, there's no way, you know. But then again, if it's a video recording, like, people will be like, man, that's AI, CGI, you know. You gotta ask yourself, what would it really take for you to believe in something? That's why I think in the book of John, Yahushua, after he came back, there was somebody that said, man, I'm not believing he's actually back, or he came back from the dead, unless I see the hole in his hand. And sure enough, Yahushua came up to him, showed him the hole in his hand, and he said, look, because it took you to see the hole in my hand, everyone else that didn't see the hole in my hand, they will be blessed. So it shouldn't take, you know, so much evidence and effort to believe in certain things. But how much does it take to believe in certain aspects is what I'm trying to say. Here it is, guys. John chapter 20, verses 24 through 29. And forgive me, he didn't just see the hole. He took his finger, his actual finger, and placed it hole inside his hand. And he was like, look, just because you did all that, everyone else that doesn't have to do all this, they will be blessed, basically. He said, and be not faithless, but believing. I mean, what could you say after that? You know, he's like, oh man, you know. Speaking about strange theories no one can explain, take a look at these dinosaur prints. Is it really dinosaur prints? What's going on here?
Bolivia has a dinosaur highway on a wall. This is Cal Orcko near Sucre. Its cliff holds thousands of fossil footprints. But here's the impossible part, they are almost vertical today. Millions of years ago this was flat ground. Dinosaurs crossed it like a road. Then Earth lifted the ground into the sky. A prehistoric path, frozen on a giant stone wall. Bolivia has a dinosaur highway on a
dinosaur highway on a wall. I wonder what degrees this is. This looks like it's a 45-degree incline at the least, probably even steeper, 55, 65. And you gotta imagine a heavy, long neck weighing a couple tons trying to walk up there, you know? How is it possible?
wall. This is...
Look, you can really see it. It was sticking to a wall like a spider. That's crazy. Speaking of crazy monsters, did they find the Loch Ness monster?
This monster has always, the topic of the Loch Ness monster has always been something that just kind of pulls me back in. Mm-hmm. It was the first love that I had for cryptids. I mean, literally, before I even considered anything else, me and my friends were going to go find that thing in cat.
I was obsessed with the Loch Ness monster too. Every Discovery Channel, Animal Planet showing of it, I was locked in, and they'll just show us that one little picture with his head up looking like a long neck. I'm like, show us something new.
So some of these images are definitely interesting. Some of them I feel probably could be explained. The first one I want to bring up, though, it's an image of, if you didn't know you were looking at Loch Ness, you'd be like, is that a man walking on water? It's like a humanoid figure out on the water, standing there. And then when you give the context of, oh, that's Loch Ness, then you're like, is that Nessie? Is that Nessie's neck? But on this website, though, the one image that you brought up, I thought was the most interesting. The Sonar one, right?
Oh, the Sonar one's really interesting. So that's the boat Sonar. Sonar's weird because it's like you're taking like a still pop and then it kind of builds an image, right, as you go over an area. So it's like, obviously it's not super clean, but I mean, if you just look at the image itself, it looks like, Jack says it looks like a giant turtle.
It does. It looks like a giant turtle.
It kind of does.
But you have like a huge body mass, and then you have this really long neck with like some little flipper things underneath it. I don't know if you can necessarily scale it according to how it's scaled on the right for the depth.
I see the neck, and I see the main body and the little flippers under it. I see it.
Yeah. But if you were, I mean, you're talking about something that's like anywhere from 25 to 40 feet, possibly. It's interesting. I mean, that one's pretty interesting. That looks like a very large animal.
It does.
Or a turtle. But
A large sea turtle.
I think a turtle 25 feet, I think, is less believable than Nessie.
It's pretty.
Yeah, a turtle with a neck that long, I don't know about that. But I kind of do see like the shell aspect of it. Here's the only dragon they gonna show us right now.
So this is a Komodo dragon. This is the largest lizard in the world, named after a dragon, ironically. This is how big crocodiles can get today, the largest crocodile, about 20 feet long. But if we look at extinct animals, they got even bigger. This is Megalania, the largest monitor lizard ever found. And this is Sarcosuchus, a crocodile that got 30 feet long. And if you look at snakes,
Straight out of the movie Lake Placid.
they get pretty large too. Today, the record snake is a reticulated python at around 32, 33 feet long, but extinct snakes got even bigger. This is Titanoboa, 49 feet long. I hope you don't find that in your backyard. So this is a Komodo.
What are you gonna do? Titanoboa? You gonna need a lightsaber or something. If you thought I wasn't gonna hit you with another excellent specimen today, think again. We have a natural, extra large emerald green fluorite. Man, this fluorite is nice. We can see the octahedrals forming. Looks like we have some type of quartz starting to form around it. The rating I'm gonna give this about a 8.8, and I'm gonna call it the green apple pine tree. 8.8. That's all we got for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and drop the code word in the comments below. When you do that, that lets me know you're a real one. You made it all the way to the end of the video and you really rock with your boy. The code word for today is underwater. With that being said, I just want to say I love you guys. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for hanging out with me every day, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Same place, same time.